Hello, K5 class. This is Miss Susan coming to you from YouTube. Today is going to be lesson 127, and we will be doing letters and sounds, pages 149 and page 150. And then we will be doing our number skills, just page 103. You will be doing your number tablet, page 55. And then we will be reading book 4, I Do Read. And you all are just going to reread that. Okay? All right, so we're going to go ahead and begin. We're going to pick up where we left off with our story about the transfiguration with Jesus. Okay, so this is a beautiful picture, isn't it? Okay, so in our story it says, but Jesus did not want to sleep. So if you remember, Jesus, Peter, James, and John, they went up on the high mountain. Okay, so that's a little bit of review from our story. They were going up on the high mountain, and they were going to go pray on this mountain. So this was a very, very steep mountain that they went up. And when they got to the top, Jesus, he stopped and he looked over at the disciples, and they were ready to rest and go ahead and go to sleep. And actually, they did go to sleep on this mountain. So this was what happened while they were asleep. Okay, so in our story, it says that Jesus, he didn't go to sleep. Instead, he knelt down to pray and talk to his Father. So many times in the scriptures, we see Jesus praying to his heavenly Father. And if he often prays, how much more do we need to pray to our heavenly Father? So because the disciples' eyes were heavy with sleep, they almost missed the most wonderful thing that they would ever see. They had even seen Jesus praying before, but never like this. Suddenly, as they woke up and looked up, they saw his face shining as the sun, and his clothes were white, and it was blazing with light. So this reminds me of our sun. Okay? How convenient. Our sun in the sky, and then here's the Son of God. So he looked like a king, but more than that, he looked like God. In a very special way, the glory from within shone through his clothes, and he appeared in radiant glory so that all would see him. So this is how we're going to see him when we stand before him someday. Okay? So, in the next part of our story, then the disciples saw something else that startled them very much. And for by this time, they were very much awake. So that would have woke me up too, wouldn't it? Have you guys? So 2 men were standing beside Jesus. One was Moses, and the other one was Elijah. So as you can see down here, here is the disciples. There's our Peter, James, and John. It doesn't really say which one is which in our story, but here's Jesus, and then Moses and Elijah. Okay? So, both of them were standing next to Jesus. Both of these men had lived on earth and had been received into heaven many years before this. So, when Moses died, God buried his body, but no one knew exactly where his body was buried. So many years later, Elijah was taken to heaven in a chariot of fire without dying. So God sent Moses and Elijah there on the mountain to talk with Jesus about his suffering and death at Calvary that would soon take place in Jerusalem. That was what Jesus had talked to his disciples about. So Moses and Elijah were instantly interested for this, for it was an important event that was about to occur. So all through eternity, this is what we will be talking about. Jesus' great love, which made him willingly die on us at Calvary. So as Moses and Elijah stood there talking to Peter, talking to Jesus, Peter, all confused, not knowing what he was going to say, blurted out, "Master, this is wonderful for us to be here and see this. You'll put up 3 great monuments, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." Poor Peter. He was always speaking out of turn because he felt he always had something to say. So Peter did not realize that in that very sacred moment like this, it is always wise to be quiet and not to say anything. Jesus did not answer Peter's comment. So while Peter talked, a bright cloud came and covered all of them, blotting out the sun, and a voice from the cloud said, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear him." God the Father again proclaimed Jesus as his Son, and just as he had done at the baptism in the Jordan River with John the Baptist. So, terrified as the cloud overshadowed them, the disciples fell on their faces. Jesus came and touched each of them and gently said, "Get up, don't be afraid." Jesus, even in all his glory, did never forget his disciples were afraid. He knows every fear of our heart and always cares about his children. So when the disciples got up and looked around, the cloud was gone. Moses and Elijah were gone also, and they only saw Jesus. God the Father wanted them to know that Jesus, the Son of God, was far more important than Moses and Elijah. And God still today wants us to know that Jesus is greater than all the other characters that were in the Bible. The disciples never forgot the marvelous sight on the mountain that they had just witnessed. Years later, when John was an old man, he wrote, "We beheld his glory," in the book of John, chapter 1, verse 14. When Peter wrote from the voice of heaven which spoke, "When we were with him in the holy mount." So mount is mountain for short. For the rest of their lives, this was one of the most precious and sacred memories. So, as the disciples were later going down the mountain, Jesus commanded them not to tell anyone what they had seen until after he had risen from the dead. So the disciples obeyed their Lord. They told no one of anything they had seen. They kept these wondrous things in their hearts, and after the resurrection, when Jesus rose on the 3rd day, they wrote them down. So this would have been in the Bible. So how wonderful to know that someday in heaven, we who are all saved will see Jesus with our own eyes. We will also see Moses and Elijah and all the other Bible characters that we study about every day. So on that mountain, Moses represented all of those who died and will die and go to heaven. Elijah represented all those who are still living when Christ comes back for his own and are caught up in the clouds to meet him in the air. Okay? So let's review our Bible scripture, boys and girls. I have forgotten my Bible. It's in my kitchen right now. So we'll just, hopefully we know it by heart now. So John 3:16, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life." Okay? All right. So we are going to go ahead and move into our phonics. So we will be doing letters and sounds, page 149 and 150 today. Okay, so first we are going to be reviewing some of our blends, boys and girls. Okay, so remember our long and our short vowels. Okay, so spa, spay. So remember we want to make our short E. E as in elephant, so spee. And then E as in eagle, or I'm sorry, that would be our short E sound, boys and girls. So remember A-E-I-O-U? Okay, so E as in so spe. And then this would be spee, so E as in elephant. Okay, so spee, E, that short I. And then spy, that long I. Next we have spa, aw as in ostrich. And spo, O as in open, so spo. Next we have spa, so is in umbrella. And spoo, so U as in uniform, so spoo. Okay, next we have cry, cray. So we have cre and cree. Cree and cry. Craw and crow. Oops, sorry. And crow. Or I'm sorry, long sound. Crow. Next we have cruh. And then we have crew. Next we have twa and tway. So next we have twe and twee. Twee and twa. Next we have twa and twoe. Okay, next we have twa and twoo. Okay, next we have swa and sway. Okay, next we have swear and swee. Next we have swee and swa. Okay, next we have swa and swow. Next we have swa. And lastly, we have swoo. Okay, so that long U sound. Okay, wonderful job, boys and girls. So now we are going to be doing letters and sounds. Page 149. It's going to look like that with the ship. So at the top it says, write the words your teacher says. Okay, so in the first spot where the lines are, like on our handwriting papers, you all are going to write the word cat. Cat. Okay, and for the next one on the other side of the ship, you are going to write the word run. Run. Okay, so on number 2, we are going to circle the special sounds and mark the vowels. Okay, I'm going to give you guys some time to do that. Okay, so for instance, boys and girls, on that first one, okay, so that's the word fast. Okay, so I hear a special sound in that, don't you all? St, st, st. So that's our ST. So you all are going to circle that and then mark your vowel. So that A is our only vowel. So we'll mark that with a smile. Okay, boys and girls, so on number 3, it says choose the word that completes each sentence and write it on the lines. So one word will not be used. Okay, so you all are going to read those sentences and you're going to choose from these words that's on this side right here. Choose one of those words to write in those blanks. Okay, so make sure we're sounding out all of our words. Okay, so just a little reminder, boys and girls, whenever we're reading out our words, like over here on the corner of the page, okay, so that's the word black. Okay, so if you notice, there is not 2 vowels in that word, there's 1. So when there's 1 vowel, I'm going to say that short sound. So black. Okay. But if there's 2 vowels, like in the word clue, okay, so I'm going to make sure I say that long U sound because there's 2 vowels. Okay, and I would not sound out my other vowel. That one's silent. Okay, so go ahead and flip over your page, boys and girls, and we are going to do page 150. Okay, so here's you guys some coloring. All right, but this is much more than coloring. It's working on your special sounds too. Okay, so it should look like this. Okay, page 149. It says fun with phonics. Circle the special sounds and mark the vowels and read the words. Color the picture using the color key. Okay, so all of your words that have the cl, you're going to color that red. So you're going to circle all of those words. You're going to circle those special sounds. Okay, the words that have those special sounds, you're going to go and circle that special sound, that CL. Okay, and then you're going to color it red. Okay, and then your st, that ST says st. You're going to color that yellow. So you're going to circle it if it's in that word, and then you're going to color around that yellow. Okay, so next we have burr, B-R as in burr. Okay, and you're going to color those special sound words blue. Okay, next we have fur, F-R says fur, and we're going to color those special sounds. We're going to color those brown. And then our next is grr, G-R says grr. Okay, so we're going to circle those special sounds and then color that around that word purple. Okay, so you will also be marking your vowels in this one, boys and girls. So circle your special sounds, then mark your vowels, then read the words, and then you'll use your color key over here to the left to know what to color those words. Okay, great job, boys and girls. So we are going to move along. As you all can see on my board, we're learning about some new things today, and I'm really excited to teach those to you all. Okay, so on the first part, boys and girls, we are just going to be reviewing. We are going to be counting by 5s and by 10s to 100. Okay, so we'll go ahead and begin that. Okay, So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. Okay, so now we're going to count by tens. Okay, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay, great job, boys and girls. So now we are going to just be reviewing some of our addition families, and you all are going to help me with these addition problems at the top of our board right here. Okay, so this just reviews what we have been working on, so you guys should know how to do these addition problems very well. Okay, so and you guys are going to help me figure out our answers. Okay, so in our first one, 1 plus 0 equals, you guys tell me? Yes, that would be 1. Okay, so 0 plus 2 equals, so if you remember, boys and girls, that 0 is nothing, okay? So when any number is put with a 0, it's always that number, okay? It's not the 0, it's the other number, okay? So 0 plus 2 equals 2. Good job. Okay, so 1 plus 1. That's easy peasy, isn't it? That would be our 2. Okay, so 2 plus 1 equals, that's right, 3. Okay, so next, our 3 plus 1 equals 4. Great job. Okay, so next, our 2 plus 2 equals 4. Awesome. Awesome job, guys. Okay, so next, our 4 plus 1 equals 5. That's right. Okay, so next, our 3 plus 2 equals 5. Good job, boys and girls. Okay, so next, our 5 plus 1 equals 6. Good job. Okay, and then our 3 plus 3 equals 6. Good job. Okay, and then our 5 plus 2 equals, that's right, 7. Okay, and then our 4 plus 3 equals, that's right, 7 again. Great job, boys and girls. Okay, so next we're going to be learning something really fun too. Okay, we are going to be talking about our whole and our 1/2, and then I have a new one to introduce. It's called 1/4. Okay, let me try to zoom in on those a little bit. Okay, so there they are. Make sure you guys can see those. Okay, wonderful. That's perfect. Okay, so here we've been talking about a whole. Okay, so pretend this is a giant cookie. Okay, you guys love chocolate chip cookies. I know I do. And you guys do too. So here is our whole. Okay, so imagine if all of our K-5 class, we ate that whole pizza. Yum, or I'm sorry, the whole cookie. Yum, yum, yum. Okay? So next we got another cookie. Okay? So say one of our parents brought us some cookies and Miss Susie split them in half, okay? So here would be our 1/2, okay? So I had one cookie and I split it in half, okay? So here would be our 1/2. Okay, so I'm just going to shade that in, boys and girls. So here's our 1/2. Here's our whole. And then today we're going to be introducing the 1/4. Okay, so 1/4. Notice that 1 comes before the 4. We have 4 slices of our cookie. Okay, so it's broken up into 4 pieces. Okay, so here I'm going to shade in one of those. Okay, so we had a whole cookie, and then I split it up into 4 different pieces. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there was our 4 pieces, but I'm going to get one of those, okay? I'm going to get one of those. Okay, so that would be our 1/4, boys and girls, 1/4. So if you notice, 4th sounds just like the number 4, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1/4. Okay? I'm taking 1 piece out of 4. Okay? So I'd have how many pieces of my cookie left? That's right. I'd have 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Great job. Okay, now boys and girls, we are going to work on our time. I want to introduce you all the 15 on the clock. Okay, so I just want to make sure you guys can see me really well. See the clock really well, rather. Okay. Okay, boys and girls, so as you can tell there, I have 2 o'clock, right? Okay, so we are going to move around the clock, and we're going to count by 5s doing that, okay? So so remember this red hand is our minute hand, or I'm sorry, our hour hand, and our blue hand is our minute hand, okay? So we're going to move it, and we're going to count by 5s while we're doing it. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So if you notice, our hour hand is moving away from our 2. It's getting a little closer to the 3. Okay. So here's 30. So that'd be 2:30 now, wouldn't it, boys and girls? So here's 2:35, 2:40, 2:45, 2:50, 2:55, and 2:60. Okay, so now it would be 3 o'clock. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to 4:15. So remember, boys and girls, our minute hand is always counting by 5s, okay? Except for when we get to the o'clock, okay? That's when that minute hand says the o'clock, okay? So let's make it our time up here, 4:15, okay? So right now it's 3 o'clock. Let's spin it around, and let's make it 4:15, okay? So what makes this 4:15 is because it's 15 minutes after 4 o'clock, okay? So there's my 4 o'clock. If I put my minute hand on the 1, it's 4:05, 4:10. So if you notice, we're getting closer to the 15. And here's our 4:15, boys and girls. Okay? So notice that minute hand, which is our blue hand, that's on the 15. Okay? Yes, it does say the number 3, but that number 3 is our hour. Okay, so here's our hour hand. The red hand is our hour hand. And that hour hand is on our 4. So it's 4:15. Okay? All right, so hopefully this will make more sense to everyone as I keep teaching this. Okay, so now let's move our hour all the way to 7 o'clock. Okay, so here it's 7 o'clock. Okay, but we are going to go ahead and say 7:05, 7:10, 7:15. Okay, so there's our 7:15. Let me make sure you guys can see that correctly. Okay, great. So 7:15, we are going to write that like this, boys and girls. Okay, so 7:15. There we go, 7:15. Okay, so that's one of our numbers that we see when we're counting by 5s, isn't it, boys and girls? Remember, 5, 10, 15? Okay, so our clock has everything to do with counting by 5s. All right, wonderful. Okay, so now we are going to be doing the time 8:15. Okay, so let's watch our hour hand as it moves a little closer to the 8. Okay, so I'm going to move my minute hand, my blue hand. I'm going to move that hand on down. So there's my 15, 20, 25, 30. So there's 8:30, isn't it? Or 7:30. Okay, so we're going to keep on moving it. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. What do you all see happening to that hour hand? That's right, it's moving closer to the 8. So 50, 55, 60. So there's our 8 o'clock. Okay, so let's make it 8:15. 8:05, 8:10, 8:15. Okay, so I'm going to write that 8:15. All right, making sure you guys can see that. Yeah, 8:15. Okay, so now we're going to do another time. Okay, so let's go ahead and push the clock all the way to 12 o'clock. Okay, so there's our lunchtime, isn't it, boys and girls? Okay, so 12 o'clock, 12:05. So notice I'm saying my 5. 12:05, 12:10, and 12:15. 12:15. Okay, so I'm going to write that time above here. Okay, 12:15. Making sure you guys can see that. Yes, 12:15. Okay, so hopefully we've learned a little bit about more about time today. Okay, so remember that 15, that is 15 minutes. So before it was 12 o'clock, but then 15 minutes later, it's 12:15. Okay, so we are going to now work on our number skills. Page 103. It should look like this. Okay, should look like this, boys and girls. Okay, so our number skills, page 103. On the first section on number 1, you're going to just do simple addition. So we done this up on the board earlier. So you guys should be pretty good at this. Giving you guys some time to do that addition. Okay, so next on number 2, you are going to write down what time is it. So you're going to look at each of those clocks. On your papers, boys and girls, that hour hand is yellow and the minute hand is green. So it's a little different than our clock that we use here to show you all their times. Okay, I'm going to give you some time to write down those times on your clocks. Okay, so next, number 3, it says match the coins to what they will buy. Okay, so you've got a little sailboat over there on the side, and then you have, looks like a piece of pink candy. Okay, so that little sailboat, can you guys tell me how much it cost? That's right, 40 cents. Okay, so we should recognize that 40 from counting just 1 to 100 or counting by tens. Okay. And then you are going to draw a line, boys and girls, to how many coins goes with which item. Okay, so next we have our little piece of candy. So what number is that? That's right, number 15. Okay, so you're going to draw a line as to how many coins that piece of candy would cost. Okay, boys and girls, so this concludes our lesson for today. Again, this was lesson 127, and you will be doing letters and sounds, page 149 and page 150. Our number skills, page 103, and our number tablet, page 55. And you will be reading book 4, I Do Read. You're going to reread that book. And then we should be on lesson 12 in education.com. Guys, this is not a have-to, the education.com. I know some have really, stressed about it or doesn't have a lot of time to do it. The education.com, it's just an extra resource, like I've said in my text messages, just to help your children just kind of stay on track and practice those skills that we've been learning a lot in the classroom. I really don't want your child to lose those skills, and I have handpicked these assignments on this website. So it follows along with what they've been taught. It may help them get ahead on some of the skills, because some of the lessons that I've chose, it's went over into first grade, according to their website. So we're actually a little bit ahead here in our Abeka curriculum, compared to that website. So I think that's great. You parents are doing an awesome job with helping your children. I love all the videos I'm receiving. I love the video chats I'm getting with your children reading with me. The Bible scriptures that I'm hearing your child say. You guys are just doing a wonderful job with your children, and I really appreciate that. And K5, you guys are doing awesome. I'm so proud of you. You guys are getting smarter and smarter every day. And I hope everyone's doing well, and you guys have a blessed day.